Hi, let's talk about your final project. Your final project is going to be broken down into 3 or 4 pieces, depending on if you want to submit a draft or not. And all of this is under your, Start Here module. And then there's also more information within each assignment that you're going to be submitting related to your final project. So for your final project, and I'm looking at my screen, forgive me for looking away, but I don't want to miss anything. You are going to either do a 4 to 6 page paper or a presentation that you don't actually have to submit, but you will prepare as though you are, as well as an advocacy poster. So either a paper or a presentation with an advocacy poster, and I'm going to explain more what that is. Now, how do you choose which one of these you want to do? If you're really good at writing and you feel really confident in that, go ahead and do the research paper. If you are someone who is a little more creative, or maybe you are not naturally more creative, but you want to be better at it, you want to, you're willing to explore more those kind of things, then do this one. And really the same thing goes for the research paper. If you're not a great writer right now, maybe you'll become one after this paper. There's certainly plenty of resources to help you with that if that's your goal. The knowledge that you have right now related to this paper and this class and everything else is not fixed. We can grow it, right? So do what feels natural to you, or do what it is that you want to work on, and let's work on it together. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do in week 2 is submit your topic. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it can be whatever you want it to be that has some kind of relevance to human sexuality. How do you decide on a topic? I have included some resources for you if you want to get some ideas, but you can also if it's just something on your own, whatever you want to do is perfectly fine with me. You are going to submit it. And then if it's a topic that I think is inappropriate or there's not enough research for or something like that, you'll still get credit for submitting your topic. So don't worry with that. But if you're concerned, just reach out to me and let's talk about it. Okay, the second thing you're going to do is an annotated bibliography. Now, we have an embedded librarian that I'm going to ask to be on alert for this assignment so that you have help there when needed. And I will probably post an announcement about that when it's closer to time. But an annotated bibliography, this is really all that it is. You find some sources that you want to use. 5 in particular, at least 5, with at least 3 of those being scholarly or peer-reviewed. And again, the librarian can help with this, but I can as well. So on an annotated bibliography, you put your citation, just like you would on a reference page, and then you give a very short blurb about that article. That's really it. It sounds much more complicated than it is, but that's really all that there is to it. Now, you do need to include an introduction and a conclusion, of course, but forgive that hiccup. You do want to include an introduction and a conclusion, but that is really all that you're doing for an annotated bibliography. I have included sort of an example here for what that would look like, but that's going to be the second thing that you submit. Now that is going to help you with your final project because I will be able to review those and say, maybe this article isn't going to be the best, or consider using this other article, right? So we're building as we go. So everyone's going to do those 2 things, submit your topic and your annotated bibliography. Then the next thing in line is the draft of your research paper or your advocacy poster and presentation. Now, if you want to do the research paper, it's a typical research paper. I think we said 4 to 6 pages. Yes. And so I don't want to go too in depth with that. Most of us know how to do a research paper by this point. The other option is to do an advocacy poster or a presentation. Now, I've also included a third option here that I didn't mention before because most people don't choose this one, but you could. So you can do your research paper, or you can do an advocacy poster and a presentation. The presentation would just be a slide deck. So PowerPoint or some other, slide deck program. Then with that, you would also do an advocacy poster. Think of advocacy is like an advocate, right? Like someone who speaks on behalf or for someone else in a helpful way, sort of like an ally, right? Like I've mentioned my husband is a disabled veteran. I am an advocate for him. I make sure that he gets the care that he receives. And I also stay up to date on legislative things that may impact him and our family as a disabled veteran. So for me, an advocacy poster, if I was going to do something related to that, of course it's human sexuality, so it would have to be something about, maybe PTSD and TBI and other, common war injuries sustained and how that impacts intimacy among veterans. Then my advocacy poster would be some sort of design and word mixture. That's not very clear, but, just imagine, when you've seen posters for encouraging you to vote or encouraging you to support, insert any social movement, Black Lives Matter, or, any of those, anything at all that you can think of that, you've seen similar to that. But I have suggestions here too. That was a terrible explanation. Sorry. But it's basically something that you could post on your social media and all the information would be there, or we would know where to go to get it on that poster. I don't feel like this was a very helpful explanation, but I'm going to leave it. And then if I need to do another one for you all, I will. And I can also talk to you, via phone or video whenever you want. I think just looking at the examples will help make it a lot more sense. Now, the third option, you will not do a paper or an advocacy poster. You would just do that presentation, slide deck, but instead of not presenting it, you would actually be presenting it sort of by recording your voice as you're presenting your presentation. You could do that with or without a video. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm not going to go too in depth with this one because, like I said, most people don't choose this one. But if you are working on your public speaking skills, or if you're already, excel in that area, then either way, anyone could do any of these. So I hope this was helpful, and I will probably make another video when we get closer to time to explain better, but you can always reach out to me if needed. I am here to help. I think this is going to be fun. Choose something that you're interested in, and I think it'll be fun. See you all online.